Hello and welcome everybody to the first game in the Ice of March tournament in the Menor area. So your Findlay Trojans will be playing the Biggby Bombers U11 Black, who ironically will be in home white jerseys today with orange and black trim. Trojans are in your alternate black jerseys with the blue pants and blue helmets. 12-minute periods in the tournament here. All right, starting out in game one, we will have Finn Biggs in net for the Trojans. Mason Cooper will come out, take the face off. He'll have River Archer and Ben Grace with him. Ricky Nichols and Henry Fort on defense. As we get ready to drop the puck. Puck is dropped, goes back towards the Biggby defense. Then Grace in pursuit. They move it through neutral ice, poked away by Fort. Biggby collects, dumps deep into the zone. That goes around opposite end of the ice. Biggby collects along the boards. Centering pass. Now back to the defense, taking a shot blocked by Cooper out of the zone. River Archer now racing. Tries to pull it across. Still in his skates. Ben Grace now gets it around the corner, but Biggby defense pokes it away. Moves it up the boards. Held up by River Archer. Now collected by Biggby. Moving it across into the offensive zone. Shot collected by Ricky Nichols. He's going to push this forward. He's got some room. He's going to go around the defense. He's going to get towards the goal. Centering pass. Oh, try to find Grace just a little too far ahead of him. George Homewood comes off the bench now. Trying to take that down deep. Biggby collects. Moves across center ice. Burkhart collects now down the corner. Gets that across to Archer. Archer's going to try to push along the boards. Got that, then tipped away. Falls under the stick of Burkhart, but then going to collect it are the Trojans. Stick back now. Burkhart knocks it into the zone. Pursue on the forecheck. With Homewood back there as well. Burkhart battling along the boards. Gets that puck away. Tried a centering pass. Rolled off his stick. Peter Koski there, though, to hold that up. And now Biggby collects. And they push forward through neutral ice. Looking for a shot. Finn Biggs with the save, and he'll glove that. And we'll have a defensive zone faceoff. George Homewood takes the face off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Comes out to Homewood. Homewood flips that up to Burkhart. Burkhart's now got a little bit of a step. He's pushing, gets knocked along the boards, gets an elbow in the back. No call, gets it back to George Homewood. And then Biggby clears the zone. That's going to go past the crease, and that's going to be an icing. So we'll have an offensive zone face-off to the glove-hand side of the Biggby goaltender. George Homewood takes face-off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Goes back. Rylan Pierkowski pursuing behind the net. Chips it along the boards. Biggby collects. Burkhart disrupts that. Holds that up in the zone. Peter Koski now battling. Now comes out to George Homewood, but then picked away. And then stopped and by good defense by the Trojans in the middle. Knocked back. Burkhart's got it. He plays it along the boards, trying to get it out to Peter Koski. Comes back. Sloan flips that out of the zone. And now Homewood tips it forward. He's got Rylan Peter Koski with him. Homewood goes to the inside. Goes Peter Koski. Shot! Oh, puck goes back to the corner. Peter Koski checked down along the boards. Puck just bounces over Eddie Homewood's stick. Henry Fort back to collect. Cross-ice pass. Gets that back to Mason Beach. Mason Beach is going to turn, pursue options. Tucks that away. Gets that up to Peter Koski. Who then gets that into the offensive zone, but then Biggby collects. Gets across neutral ice. Sends it back. Biggs comes out to stop that puck. Leave it for the defense. Henry Fort back there. Biggby looking for a shot to the center. Tipped aside, taken out by Harrison Chafe. Harrison Chafe now gets across center ice, tips that into the zone, and he's going to pursue past the defense. Ooh, tried to turn that to the middle, just rolled off of his stick. Good thought there. Now coming back. Oh, and we're going to have a hook. Is that touch it? It looks like Hank Schwab with the hook there. And that'll put the Trojan in the box, and we'll get a look at the Trojan penalty kill here. About a third of the way through the first. Penalty's only a minute here. Puck is dropped, goes back to the defense. Now Ben Grace tried to tip that forward, so did Mason Cooper there. Cooper and Grace out there with Fort and Nichols. Now Grace gets the puck, gets that over to Nichols. They cycle, try to flip it around. Nichols still has it after playing off the boards. Try to get that over to Cooper in the middle, but sticking away by Biggby. Biggby cycling. Looking to break into the zone, they do. Shot, Finn Biggs, glove save. So Mace Cooper takes face off again for the Trojans. Puck is dropped, knocked back. Biggby's got it though. Gets it out to the defense. Mace Cooper on the pressure. They flip it behind the net. Ricky Nichols battling now. Looking to play it off the boards. Back to the defense is Biggby. Shot. Hits the skate of Cooper. Cooper tips that forward. Now he's going to try to push. He's going to get that out of the zone. He's going to beat a man. He's got one more to beat. He cuts back. Flips one through. Oh, off the post! Held in by Grace and Nichols. Nichols now throws one at the net. That hits the defense. Now Ben Grace is over there. He's got it now in front of the net. He throws one in front, but nobody there for the Trojans. Ricky Nichols now plays against the board. Penalty to the Trojans expired, so they're back at full strength. That puck goes all the way down. Icing waved off. Webb Sloan going to collect. He's going to try to make a man miss, but puck escapes him. Comes out to the corner. Shot. Gloved by Biggs. Knocked away. And here comes George Homewood with it. He's got River Archer out there with him. He gets it over to Archer. Just ahead of him. Archer edged out by the defense. Plays it along the boards. Mason Cooper's got it. Tried to play it down to the corner, but intercepted by Biggby. Now Biggby cross-ice pass. Laura Teagarden out there now. Nice poke check by Teagarden. Gets that to Homewood. Homewood now gets that out of the zone. Pursuing is Mason Cooper. Knocked along the boards into the zone, but Webb Sloan's got it now. He's going to make a move. He's going to push through. Tried to find a man in the middle, but that got poked away as Burkhart and Sloan were pressuring the net there. So the goaltender for Biggby covers, so we'll have an offensive zone faceoff for the Trojans. So George Homewood takes face-off now. He'll have Burkhart and Peter Kosky out there with him. Sloan and Teagarden out on defense. Puck is dropped. Goes back to Sloan. Sloan fires a shot that hits off of Homewood and then off the goaltender. Homewood's got it now. He throws one at the net. That's loose in front. Biggby collects. They move it out of the zone. Teagarden's got it now. He tries to push it forward. It's in skates. He tips it forward. Burkhart collects now. Tried to get that over to Peter Kosky. Peter Kosky's got it now. He's going to send that deep into the zone. Burkhart pursuing behind the net. That gets chipped back in by Homewood along the boards. And then comes out to Sloan. Sloan's going to play that along the boards. He gets hit hard. Now it's chipped out. George Homewood's guy, he gets it over to Burkhart. Burkhart now trying to get that into the zone. Got tipped away, but then tipped back up by Teagarden, who throws that into the zone and then goes up in the air. Homewood has it. He's going to throw one, tried to get towards the net. That gets off a couple players, gets to the corner. Peter Kosky now playing with it, playing in the corner, trying to make a turn. Biggby defense collects. Knocked down. Nice job there by Homewood, but bounced out of the zone and knocked back. So Teagarden's got it now. Cross-ice pass to Sloan. Looked for Peter Kosky coming up the middle. Had Homewood there too, but that got tipped away. Biggby now tried for a shot. Nice work by Sloan to tip that away. Now George Homewood tries to skate through players. Gets a shoulder to the helmet. Beach picks it up. Beach comes in with it. Beach coming to the outside. Tried to put the brakes on. Player runs into him. Picked it up, but there was Chafe coming in with a shot. And then trying to chip that out towards the middle was Beach. And then they're gonna get a tripping penalty, unfortunately, on this. And a shot. Biggs tips that aside. Empty net now. And now it's touched by Harrison for the Trojans. And so we're gonna have a tripping penalty. And that's going to be Eddie Homewood going to the box for the Trojans for a minute-long penalties in this tournament. So Cooper and Grace will come out to start the penalty kill with Nichols and Fort. Puck is dropped. Back to the defense for Biggby. Pushed out. Then Grace pushing forward. Just got held up there. Good effort by Grace on the forecheck. Now playing him off the puck, and now Grace pushes that forward, gets it out of the zone. Biggby forced to reset. They cycle, go across. Backhand one, and Biggs is going to cover. So 30 seconds left in the penalty to the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Cooper gets it. Puck goes around. Then Grace plays it along the boards through contact. Chipped out by Mason Cooper. Going down the length of the ice. Cooper applying pressure, tips that aside. Now he's there in the corner with it. Tries to play that. Gets held up. No call on a hook there. And now great collapsing defense by the Trojans. Knocks that back to the corner. Fort now, good defensive play there. Fort pinning him against the boards. Going at the puck was Archer. Biggby puts it back in. Findlay at full strength now. Collected by Nichols. Nichols tried to get that out to Archer. Mishandled by Biggby. That's going down the length of the ice. Pursuing that is Nichols on his horse. Nice job. Nichols takes the puck away. Plays it now in the corner. Comes away with it, but then Biggby pokes it away. But then in there to make a poke check is Peter Koski. And now Homewood's got it. Homewood tries to backhand that out in front and just hits a skate. But then Peter Koski's there, gets it to Homewood. Homewood tried to get a shot off, but wasn't working. Now Peter Koski's got it. He gets dumped along the boards. We're going to have a penalty for that one, so we'll get a look at the Trojan power play here as soon as puck is touched by Biggby. So Archer gets that up to Homewood. Homewood now has got a break. Homewood's going to push. He's going to try to split guys. He takes a shot. Oh, just goes over. Nice move by Homewood. Peter Koski's got it. He gets it back to Teagarden. Back to Peter Koski. Peter Koski's still got it. Puts that in front. Sloan comes down to get it. Drops down. Good pinch by Sloan. Fires one at the net. Loose in front. Oh, I guess we're not getting a penalty. I thought that was a hand up. Back there. Maybe that was for the onside. Trying to move that puck out. And then going to get it. George Homewood now. He's got one man to beat. He's going to go backhand lift one, just goes wide. He battles. He's got it behind the net. Gets it out of Peter Koski. Sloan's got it. Sloan fires a shot that hits a player in front for Biggby. Seeing some life on the offense for the Trojans here. Sloan now pinches that against the boards on the inside. And then that bounces out. Loose puck. Burkhart tipping back for it. Nice job off the bench with Burkhart. Nichols now gets that up to Homewood with his skate. Oh, just poked away. And offsides is the call. As Biggby had a player in the offensive zone still when that puck left and got tipped back. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off now. We'll have Beach, Burkhart, and Schwab out there. Beach takes face-off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Schwab tried to block that up against the boards. Shot from Biggby. high and wide. They collect, and then Beach, nice job by Beach. Poke that away, get across center ice, put that down in the corner. They're going to call icing on that. He was across center ice, I thought, but apparently not, according to the stripes. So we will have a defensive zone face-off now for the Trojans. Mason Beach takes face-off, try to tie him up. Shot, tipped aside. Nice job there by Schwab. Get a stick on it. Wrapped around the side. Burkhart racing for it now along the corner. Gets it up out of the zone. That's an offsides. So neutral zone face-off now for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Beach tried to get that back to the defense, but Biggby picks it up. Shot, sent wide. Nichols is there. He's going to get that along the boards. Get that up to Beach. Beach has it now. Gets that over to Schwab. Schwab's going to send that deep down into the zone. This should probably do it for the end of the period. We're getting pretty close here. Nichols holds him up at the line, and that's going to be it for the first period. So, all square here after one. So, teams will meet, switch sides, talk about strategy. Join us back here momentarily for the start of the second period. All right, all square here at the start of the second period. Mason Cooper takes the face-off for the Trojans. He'll have Grace and Archer out there with them. Fort and Nichols back on defense. Puck is dropped, gets that back to Fort. Fort tried to get that up to Archer. Archer's going to chip that into the zone. Grace and Archer pursuing. That gets chipped and ball right behind the net. Grace now plays that behind the net. Archer goes to join him. Archer comes out with it. Gets that over to Fort. Fort wraps it back around the boards. Gets it to Archer. Archer tried to wing a shot. He had Grace in front, but got blocked. He's going to get it back to Fort. Fort's going to go down on the pinch. Biggby collects. They're going to take it behind the net. Grace and Archer on the pressure. Nichols holds that in. Now Grace has it. Grace going to spin, play along the boards, get it back to Nichols. Nichols makes a guy miss. Finds Archer in the middle. Archer tried to fire a shot. Hit got lost in skates. Gets it back to Fort. Fort sends it deep. Mason Cooper's back there. Gets it back to Fort. That gets poked aside though, but Fort's staying with it, but then Biggby collects. Biggby now with a potential 2-on-1. Archer and Fort racing back though. Shot wide and high. Biggs was ready. Now Mason Cooper's got it. He's going to try to split a couple people, it looks like. He's going to chip it around the boards. Picks that up, still has the puck. Oh, tried to make a backhand move, but he still got the puck. Gets it out to Fort, and then it tips off of the skate of a player, but Nichols is there to push that aside, at least slow up the rush a little bit, and now a shot. That goes wide. Now trying to keep it in is Biggby, but Cooper's there, holds it out, and then or couldn't get it out, but tried. Now Nichols has it. He's going to move that out of the zone, and then collected by Cooper. Cooper throws it back in. Archer's racing around the, or Cooper is racing around the corner to get it. Sorry, that was Homewood that threw that into the zone. Coming off the bench with it is Sloan. Now Peter Koski fires a shot. That's loose in front. Tips. Oh! Homewood tipped it. That just went wide. Behind the net. Eddie Homewood out there on defense along with Webb Sloan, Burkhart, Peter Koski, and Homewood. George Homewood there. Eddie Homewood collects that wide shot. Behind the net, plays it along the boards. That comes up. Biggby's defense stops it. Looking to make a play on it. They send it back in. Looking for Jonah. Oh, on the cross ice, tipped aside, but Homewood was there. Homewood chips it back into the zone. Peter Koski on the pursuit as well. And then Biggby thwarts that aside. But Eddie Homewood, nice hold up there. Gets it back into the offensive zone. And then Eddie Homewood George Homewood on the pursuit. That comes out. Oh, Burkhart tried to keep it in. So did Sloan. Just evaded their stick. And then going through with it is Sloan. Sloan's going to go to the outside, fire a shot. Oh, just wide. Peter Koski now in pursuit behind the net. Same with Burkhart, trying to hold this break up aside. That gets tipped out, though. 2-on-1. Over to Eddie Homewood. Oh, and an errant pass. Homewood making the defense try to split, and then a shot in front. Stick to side. Got a stick on it, did Sloan. And now George Homewood gets it up to Jonah Burkhart. Jonah spins, he's got room. Oh, tried to get that up to Peter Koski, it looked like, and that got tipped. But Burkhart plays it along the boards. Peter Koski there too. Now Eddie Homewood keeps that in, fires one towards the net, tipped aside. Good shot there, and then Burkhart, yes, drew a penalty and stopped the puck.
Let's go, boys.
So 71 going to the box. Biggby for roughing. Mace Cooper takes face off for the Trojans. He's got Grayson Archer out there with him. Biggby comes out with the puck from the face-off, and then they're going to dump it deep, but that should be icing, and it is. Now Mason Cooper again with the face-off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Fort playing it in the corner. Now to Ben Grace. Ben Grace trying to fight through, battle through. He's still got the puck. Gets it out in front for Cooper. Oh, tipped aside, but Grace gets a stick on it. Gets it back to Fort. Try to get that back down to Grace. That's loose in front. Ben Grace has it now. Trying to fight through a couple people. Fort's got it now. He's going to throw it back down to the corner. As Grace and Cooper are down there. Now sent out to Grace, or to Cooper rather. Cooper now makes a man miss. Gets that back out to the point to Nichols. Nichols fires a shot. That's loose in front and then held on to as Grace was right there trying to get a stick on it. So 14 seconds left in the power play for the Trojans. They got another offensive zone face-off. Let's see if they can get one in the back of the net here. Mason Cooper again to take the face-off for the Trojans. Line change for Biggby here. Puck is dropped. Mason Cooper tried to fight through that one, but Biggby collects. We got under 10 seconds now. The penalty of Biggby. River Archer gets his stick in there, gets that back. Now Ben Grace trying to get it through the corner too. That pops out in front, but hits Ricky Nichols on the shin. Nichols has some room. Tried to find one in the middle. That hits off of a skate and goes behind the net. Now Fort tried to play that along the boards, but that's going to be all the way down on an icing. So Biggby at full strength. But we'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Trojans. Mason Beach with the face-off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped, goes towards the middle, but Biggby collects. As Biggby breaks that out, looking for a shot. Biggs, nice blocker save by Finn Biggs. Teagarden now plays in the corner. And now behind the net on the pursuit against the Biggby player, trying to find a lane to pass it to. They get it to the front, but tipped aside and collected by Beach. Beach tried to get that out of the zone, but too many sticks in the way for Biggby. And then a shot tipped aside by Biggs. Nice stick save there. Now Webb Sloan's going to take from behind the net, and he's going to try to outskate a couple people. He does. Now he's going to cut to the middle. He's got one man to beat. Oh, just tried to get it under his stick, and it got sticked away. Then he got held up and dropped there. And now Lawyer Teagarden pulls one back as that rolling puck goes. And he's got a green light, so he's going to go. And they're going to call offsides on that, looks like. So we'll get a line change and have neutral zone face off here. So we got George Homewood here taking the face off. He'll have Burkhart and Peter Koski with him. Eddie Homewood and Ricky Nichols on defense. George Homewood holds that up, and then Burkhart pushes it forward, and then Homewood knocks it into the zone. Peter Koski just missed on that neutral zone one. And then stick in the middle. That goes all the way through to Biggs, and he'll cover. Centering pass. Good call there by Biggs. Slow that up. Face off. Homewood tried to knock that back, but that goes back to the defense. Shot. High shot. Biggs with the save. Homewood again with the face-off. That goes out to the defense of Biggby. They're going to dump that behind the net. Nichols has it now. Nichols turns around, gets held up, holds the stick, but no call. Goes out to the point, sent back out, now behind the net. Now Nichols has it again. He's going to take this around a player. Get that up. Try to get that up to Homewood. Burkhart followed. Burkhart's pushing. Gets knocked away, but brings it into the zone. Sends a shot. Sticked aside by the goaltender for Biggby. Ryland Peter Koski has it. Gets it back to George Homewood. Now back to Peter Koski down in the corner fighting with it. Now over to Homewood. Fort now there to try to hold it up. Gets pushed back. Interference, but no call as Burkhart went to go make the play, but we'll have an offsides. As line change here, Mason Cooper out with Grace and Archer. Take the face off. Fort and Sloan back on defense. Midway through goalie change, Henry Yates now in goal for the Trojans. Trying to get that up the boards. Was the Trojans there, knocked aside, and now knocked out of the zone by Archer. Picked up by Grace, but then knocked away by the defense of Biggby. Cross-ice pass tipped forward by Fort. Nice job there by Fort. Now Archer's got it. Archer's going to enter the zone. He's going to find Grace in the middle. That just slipped off his stick a little too much. But then Fort there to knock it back in. Fort's going to try to throw that down to Grace. He does. Finding Archer in the middle. Shot! Oh, and a save by the Biggby goaltender. Nice play there by the Trojans. As Grace saw Archer breaking towards the net. So now Cooper takes face off for the Trojans again. Puck is dropped, tied up. Grace tried to get a stick in there. That gets knocked to the corner. Grace gets it back to Fort. Fort plays it back down to Grace. That goes behind the net. Grace holds it up. Nice job by Grace. Tried to center one in front. Had Cooper there. Comes back out a little too far. Archer now with a nice play though. Cooper's going to collect the puck. Cross-ice pass. Get that to Fort. Gets that up to Grace along the boards. That's going to go all the way down, but icing waved off. So Archer and Grace back there on the forecheck. And then chipped in by the defense of Biggby, and now Webb Sloan has it. He's going to collect. He's going to move that up the boards to Archer. Archer's going to flip that out of the zone. Grace is pushing now on the forecheck. Cross-ice pass by Biggby. Mason Cooper's going to grab it and then flip it the other way. And now he's going to try to make a man miss. And that hits a stick and falls right back to a Biggby player. But then trying to get that out was Archer. And then Grace does get it out. Good second effort by Grace there. Fighting through and then sticking it in and then knocking it back out as Fort And now Cooper knocks it aside a little bit. And we're going to have an offsides call. So we're going to change lines here. As Nichols and Teagarden come out on defense. Beach, Schwab, and Schaaf come out. Face-off drop. Beach took the face-off. Goes back to Biggby. Biggby looking in the middle now. Looking for a shot. That gets sent wide. Schwab now battling along the boards for it. Beach has it now. Now gets tipped back. Nichols has it. He's going to reassess. He's going to find Schaaf. Moving up opposite side of the ice. Schaaf's going to tip that into the zone. Beach is racing back for it. No icing. Beach plays it along the boards. Now Schaaf back there. Tipped it back. Hits the back of the goal. Now moving forward with it. And just out of the zone. But Nichols is there to hold it up. Backhands it in towards the goal, but intercepted by the defense of Biggby. Now Beach on the back check. Biggby bringing it forward. Teagarden sticks that away. Harrison tried to get that there, knock it back a little bit. At least held up the shot. Now Teagarden behind the net pursuing. He gets held up a little bit. No call. Getting edged out by Biggby. Looking for a shot in the middle. A lot of Trojan sticks in the way. Knocks that back to the corner. Good job by Schaaf and Nichols. Now trying to come out with it. But Biggby comes out with it. It's a little goaltender interference, but Schwab gets it. Gets it out of the zone. Gets that up to Beach. Beach now is going to skate, dig, put one towards the net. Then send around the boards. Nichols is there. He's going to go down to the corner work. And he's going to hold it up along the boards for a minute. And then it gets held up by Biggby. And a nice effort by Schwab falling to his feet to keep that in. That gets tipped forward, but intercepted by the defense. As Biggby pushes that up the boards, but Teagarden collects. Teagarden backhands it to Schaaf. Backhanded now to the middle of the ice, collected by Biggby. Looks to enter opposite side. That gets sticked away. Nice effort there by Teagarden to collapse back on defense. Now Biggby in the open area, shot wide. Now Schwab going to take that behind the net and then tip that forward. That hit a player, and that's spinning. Icing waved off. Beach and Harrison pushing. Nice stick there by Harrison to hold up that turn, then bobbled there by Biggby, and then almost kept in by Teagarden. And we're going to have an icing. So 15 seconds left here in the second period. All square still, 0 apiece. Homewood to take the face off. He'll have Burkhart, Peter Koski out there with him. Fort and Eddie Homewood out there. Goes out to Peter Koski. Shot. Actually, that looked like Biggby was tipping it back. Eddie Homewood tried to keep that in. That bounced over his skate. George Homewood there too. That's going to be icing. They're going to let it play, and that's going to be the end of the second period. So all square here after 2. So let's see if Trojans can put some goals on the board here in the third as they meet up, talk strategy. And they'll switch sides, so join us back here for the start of the third momentarily.
Come on, boys. Let's get it. Let's get it in there.
George Homewood comes out to take the face-off for the Trojans. Peter Koski and Burkhart with him. Eddie Homewood, Henry Fort on defense. Puck is dropped That goes back. Eddie Homewood's got it. He moves it up the boards, trying to get that to Burkhart, intercepted by Biggby. Peter Koski there too. Nice stick lift there by Homewood to slow up that rush. That gets knocked into the zone, but then collected by George, and then tipped away by Biggby. Holding it up in the middle is Peter Koski now. And now Fort's got it. Fort's going to try to get that up to Burkhart. Oh, and that just got intercepted by Biggby. And way offsides, though, is Biggby. So good look there. Almost had a breakaway opportunity.
Yeah.
So we'll have a neutral zone face-off right in front of us. As George Homewood takes the face-off for the Trojans. Gets that over. Peter Koski's got it now. He's going to skate up with it. Get that up to Homewood. Oh, just hits the back of his skate. Collected by Biggby. They're going to move that into the zone, and Peter Koski's there, so he's going to throw that off the boards, try to get out of George Homewood. Now sent back. Fort tried to get that over to Burkhart on the opposite side of the ice. Too many sticks in the way for Biggby. Now playing that in the corner. Along the boards, they get it to George Homewood. Homewood's going to push now. It's a 2-on-2. 3-on-3 now, potential. George tried to get that through people. Burkhart following the puck. Nichols is there now. Nichols dumps it down to the corner. Burkhart's got it. Burkhart's trying to find somebody. Flip two. No, and then held on to by the goaltender for Biggby. He's trying to find Peter Koski and then flipped it in last minute, but gloved by Biggby. So now Mason Cooper to take the face-off for the Trojans. He'll have Grayson Archer out there with him. Cooper gets that face-off over to Archer. Archer fires a low shot. Kick saved by the Biggby goaltender. Ben Grace now battling in the corner against two Biggby players. That comes out. Mason Cooper trying to get to it. He's still got it. He's going to turn, get that back down behind the net. Ben Grace is there now playing against the net. He tries to get it in front. That hits a player. And then Cooper intercepts that. Trying to get that through a couple players, and then Biggby knocks it back. But then Lawyer Teagarden has it. He's going to get that back to Webb Sloan. They're going to reset. He's going to get that up to Archer. Archer now has it. Nice job by Cooper. Stay on sides there. He's going to get that back to Sloan. Tip that forward. Sloan now working it for Archer. Archer fires a shot. That hits a Biggby player skates, but it's still loose in front. Ben Grace tying him up in the middle. And now Cooper sticks that aside. And then Sloan comes up to make a play on it. And then Cooper collects and flips it back down deep into the zone. Now Archer pursuing. Man, just skates by him. But Ben Grace flips it out in front, but that goes to a Biggby player. Now Teagarden has it. Teagarden comes down. That gets poked away. Still battling with it. Puck in front. Webb Sloan has it now. He's going to fire a shot. And gloved by the Biggby goaltender. Now Mason Beach takes face off for the Trojans. He'll have Schwab and Schaaf with him. Teagarden and Sloan still on defense. That goes back. Biggby collects. Schaaf trying to pursue on the back check. Schwab tried to poke that puck. And now we've got a stoppage in play for the penalty. As Schwab's going to go to the bench or go to the box for the trip. So we have Homewood and Beach out there. George Homewood played and Biggby mishandled that, so they got to exit the zone on that face-off. Beach there, nice pressure by Beach. That gets dumped into the zone. Fort's going to pick that up, chip it to the corner. Intercepted by Biggby. Fort's going to hold him against the wall. That gets intercepted by Nichols. Nichols now tried to move that up to Homewood. That's going to sit, so no icing. And then cross ice pass. Fort's got it. Tried to knock that into the zone, but a couple Biggby players in the way. Now Biggby moving through neutral ice. Nice job there by the Trojans to get that out of the zone. And then trying to move that forward. And then Beach is there. He's got to jump on it. He's going to try to fire a shot. Oh, puck bounced in front of him. Too much. So Trojan penalty is over. Shot sent wide. Nichols there on the defensive end.
Step up!
Shot sent wide again. George Homewood has it now. George is going to pursue. Tried to get that ahead. Could be offsides, but no call there. Now Fort had it roll off the edge of his stick. He tried to clear it up the boards. And now stick to side and comes out to Homewood. Homewood's going to push now. He's going to go wide. He's going to fire a shot just low, roll off his stick, and so that's going to go wide. Now trying to keep that in was the defense of the Trojans. Ricky Nichols back, though. This could pick up a head of steam. Got that up to Beach. Beach is going to push now. Beach is going to cut cross ice. Now he's down in the corner. He about gets taken down. Two Trojans behind the net now with it. Peter Koski's got it. And then Biggby picks it up. On the poke. Oh, and George Homewood almost came away with that one. Eddie Homewood holds him up. Nice back check by Peter Koski. Centering pass intercepted by Eddie Homewood. Nice job there. Beach. Oh, George Homewood tried to pull that aside. And then tipped back by Lawyer Teagarden. Nice play by Lawyer to get that up there. Held in by Biggby. But then Teagarden's there. Then chipped out by the Trojans. We got an offsides now by Biggby, so we'll have a line change and a neutral zone face-off now. Now Mace Cooper with the face-off. He'll have Burkhart and Grace out there with him. That gets sent over to the side. Tried to get it to Burkhart. Teagarden's got it now. Try to get that up the boards to Burkhart. Does hops over his stick though, so Burkhart in pursuit on the forecheck. That hits a player in the back and then chipped in. Eddie then tips it to the side. Ben Grace tried to get a stick on it too. That puck's loose in front. Going towards the front, that hits Cooper. That shot from the point and trying to work it up the boards. Burkhart's there now. He finds Grace, opposite side of the ice, plays that off the boards. He goes in, he's got Burkhart with him, leaves it for Cooper. Cooper now plays it along the boards. Tried a centering pass, but that hit the goaltender. And then nice job there picking that up. And then Grace is going to fire a shot. That goes up and just over the goal. Now Burkhart battling along the boards and keeping that in his Teagarden, and then Burkhart's pursuing down the corner too. Now slapping that along the boards is Biggby. That's going to go down the ice and be an icing. So we're at 5:13 left here in the third. We'll get some fresh set of legs out here now. For the Trojans, George Homewood out to take the face off. He'll have River Archer and Mason Beach with him. Webb Sloan and Laura Teagarden back on defense. Puck is dropped. Gets that back to Sloan. Sloan looking for a shooting lane. Couldn't find one. He's going to send it back down to the corner. George Homewood's got it behind the net. Trying to get that out to Archer. Archer fires a shot. Tipped in front. Still loose. Now behind the net. George Homewood with it. Beach was over there. Tried to get a stick on it too. Now Archer with a shot. In front tip. Oh, almost got to it. George Homewood hustling to the corner for it. Pokes it away, but Biggby collects. Now Biggby looking to play that up the boards. They do. That bounces over the stick of Sloan. Should be an icing. Nope, no icing. So Teagarden's going to wrap that around the boards. Kept in by Biggby at the blue line. Homewood tried to stop that there. Now Sloan plays it up. Off the boards now. He's going to skate for it. And they're going to call offsides. As they had a man advantage on a breakaway. And the back referee called offside. Interesting take. Mace Cooper with the face-off for the Trojans. Peter Koski backhands that back into the zone. That goes back off the boards. That should be icing. That is. As that was well behind the center line. Closing in on 4 minutes left in the game here. Mace Cooper tried to get that back over to a forward, but got caught up in some skates. Although pursuing, Ben Grace has it now behind the net. He's still battling with it. Gets that over to Peter Koski. Peter Koski finds Cooper in the middle. Cooper finds the shot. Glove save. Wow, that was a good pass. Found Cooper open in the middle. So now Cooper takes face off again. Cooper ties him up in the middle. Battling for the puck. Grace comes out with it. Grace couldn't get a shot off. Got sticked aside, but Fort knocks it backhand deep into the zone. Now Biggby trying to collect. They get it out of the zone. That goes to Mason Cooper. Mason Cooper's going to play that to Ryland Peter Koski off the boards. Held up by Biggby. Cooper tried to make a play on that as the guy cut by. Now looking for a shot. That hits Henry Fort. Nice defense by Fort. And then Mason Cooper collects the puck. Now Cooper's got a little bit of skating room here. He's going to try to push. He's trying to make guys turn sideways. He gets towards the middle. Tried to split him. Coming back is Ben Grace on the follow. Cooper with the puck. Oh, man. Good sequence and pressure there by the Trojans. Frozen by the Biggby goaltender on that follow-up rebound shot. So Homewood comes out. George Homewood comes out with Beach and Archer. Teagarden and Sloan on defense. Homewood gets that. That gets sent over to Sloan. Sloan cuts towards the middle. Gets tripped up. Shot! And a save by the Biggby goaltender as Homewood was closing in to get on the loose puck there. It's good pressure by the Trojans. Let's see if they can capitalize here. Under 3 minutes left in the third. All square. Homewood now tried to fight through that one. That comes back to Archer. Archer gets that back to Sloan. Sloan sidesteps a player. Gets that over to Teagarden. Teagarden fires a shot in front. Oh, just stick wide. Now Homewood's got it. He gets hooked up behind the net. No call. Now Biggby circling. Looking for a guy in the middle. Errant pass. Out to the point now. Left at the point now. Stick to side. Teagarden has it. He's going to go wrap around opposite side. Tried to play that off the boards. Gets held up. Shot. Yates with the blocker save. Archer's got it. He's going to get it out of the zone now. Biggby forced to play. Beach tried to get a stick on that. Cut through the middle. Oh, Teagarden tried to intercept that. Just rolled under his stick and the other player's stick. Teagarden's going to hit the brakes. Turn around. He's going to push forward. We're at 2 minutes. Gets that up to George Homewood, but that's just behind. They're going to play it. Nice stick lift there. Set in front. Archer tipped it, but held onto by the Biggby goaltender. Mason Cooper out now, takes face off for the Trojans, gets this back to Sloan. Sloan fires a shot that goes off of a player. Teagarden now fires a shot that goes off the back of a player. Now holding that up was Shea. Grace tried to find Cooper in the front. He still got it. Oh, tipped the shot, but that went wide. Grace now sticking with the player as he's trying to make a play forward. Forcing to the outside is Sloan. Nice job there on the hold up by Sloan. He's got a stick wrapped around his head, too. Now Teagarden's got it. He gets it up the boards to Grace. Grace is going to push now. Grace has got a little bit of room. He's got a couple Trojans joining him. Tried to go around the player. Now Nichols has it. Back for the Trojans. Reset. Gets that to Webb Sloan. Webb Sloan moves that up the boards to Mason Cooper. Up to Harrison Schaaf. They're battling for it. Schaaf tips it into the zone. We're under a minute left in the game here. Sticking that aside is Nichols, trying to get a puck. Get on it. Now George Homewood hustle play. But he got knocked down, no call. Ricky Nichols, nice job edging the player out. Now Mason Cooper has it. Mason Cooper's going to look for it out in the middle. That gets sticked out of the zone. George Homewood has it. He's got Burkhart with him. George Homewood splits the guy, takes a shot. Oh, saved by the Biggby goaltender. That goes away from the goal. They're going to keep their whistles away, it looks like, here in the closing seconds as we're under 15 seconds in this game. That puck comes out of the zone. Henry Fort hustling hard. Gets that up to Cooper out of the zone. Here comes Homewood. He's going to fire a shot, but that's going to be time expired, and this game ends in a 0-0 tie. First game of the tournament. Trojans tie.
Hey, guys! Hey!
As we got trash talk from a Biggby player at the end of the game here. And 0-0 tie. Good game by both teams. Join us tomorrow shortly after 10 in the morning. Actually closer to 11, sorry, checking my phone. As Trojans play their next matchup, we'll be broadcasting there from a different ice rink in the Cleveland area. And then back here for a game again in the evening. So join us for some more hockey action. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.